He is the best pitcher I have ever seen entering the major league.
I'm with the one and only Livy Dunn, better known today as Paul Skenes' girlfriend.
He, of course, Paul Skenes. He's definitely the most anticipated pitcher arrival since Steven Strasburg.
If fate had not intervened, Paul Skenes may never have played professional baseball. Paul Skenes went to college at Air Force and was required to serve in the military for 5 years after graduation. Yet today, he dominates MLB hitters once every 5 days and sits atop the record books as one of the best rookie pitchers of all time. So just how good is Paul Skenes actually, and how the heck did he end up in the MLB from the Air Force? While most future MLB players spend countless nights dreaming about making it to the league, that was the furthest thing from young Paul's mind. Paul was an extremely talented baseball player during childhood, but he knew that when he got older, his real dream was to serve his country. See, Paul has 3 uncles in the military, and when you combine that with his devilishly handsome mustache, the perfect job for him really does seem like flying planes with Tom Cruise. That is why in September of 2018, in his junior year of high school, the already 6'6", 230-pound Paul Skenes committed to play baseball for the Air Force Falcons. Paul is a natural-born athlete, and even though he was only a freshman in 2021, he played like a seasoned veteran. Paul, still a two-way player at the time, batted .410 with 11 home runs, 43 RBIs, and an OPS of 1,183. He was also the closer on the team and pitched with a fantastic 2.70 ERA and a team record 11 saves. Paul's incredible talent was making some headlines, because at just 19 years old, his fastball was already topping out at 100 miles per hour. But the star's future was filled with even more promise, because on top of his great season, he was also a first-team collegiate All-American ball player and a semi-finalist for the Golden Spikes Award, an award given to the best college baseball player in the country. By Paul's 2022 sophomore season, his coaches, who might not have been the wisest bunch for leaving Paul as the closer for a whole year, made the decision to switch Paul to a starter. Paul didn't skip a beat from the previous year, because in 85.2 innings pitched, he held a 2.73 ERA, 1.16 whip, and 10.1 strikeouts per 9. He also hit an impressive .314 with 13 home runs and 38 RBIs, a performance that carried the Falcons all the way to their first ever Mountain West Championship title in 2021, a tournament that Paul was named the MVP of.
Paul just named tournament MVP here. You also earned co-Mountain West Pitcher of the Year this year. How do you describe this year as a whole for you?
I think throughout the year, we knew we were good. We didn't always play like that. I think we know that, but we got hot at the right time, and I think me earning these things is a reflection of our coaching and everything that my teammates have done to support me.
For Paul's efforts, he was also named the John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year and a first-team All-American, all of which made him the highest sought-after college player in America. Now for me and you, that might seem like fantastic news, but at the time, it was very difficult news for Paul. The news meant that for the first time, his 2 massive dreams would be in conflict with each other. Paul could either stay at Air Force for his junior year, a choice that would require he serve 5 years in the military after college, or he could transfer to a different school and pursue his dreams of becoming an MLB pitcher full time. Paul said that the decision was the hardest choice he ever had to make, but on July 28th, 2022, he committed to the top-ranked LSU Tigers to officially pursue his baseball dreams.
When I say I think about it every day, how lucky I am to be here, that's not an exaggeration.
Paul was in a totally different world when he got to LSU, because as one of the best baseball programs in the country, the Tigers didn't cheap out on any of Paul's training or in feeding him all of the right veggies. Paul had mostly relied on a fastball and changeup at Air Force, but with the coaches at LSU completely bought into Paul's success, they taught him how to throw a proper curveball and slider and use spin rate data to increase the speed on his already lightning quick fastball. Paul was really getting into major league shape at this point, and his stats agreed, because in 53.1 innings pitched, he had a 1.96 ERA, 17.6 strikeouts per 9, and a .694 ERA. Paul also broke Ben McDonald's SEC record for strikeouts in a single season with 209, was the Division I National Player of the Year, the SEC Pitcher of the Year, and he didn't do too bad in the College World Series, throwing a cheeky 15.2 innings with a 1.15 ERA. I mean, just check out this man's swagger while casually throwing 102 miles per hour on college's biggest stage.
On deck. Pitch number 7 to Ahuna. And he strikes out on 102.
Paul was considered to be the strongest pitching prospect since Steven Strasburg by this point, and MLB teams were salivating at the idea of taking him with their first round pick. The MLB wasn't the only one that had an eye for Paul though, because in his success, he had caught the eye of another, moderately attractive LSU athlete in the process. Paul and Livy Dunn, the famous gymnast, reportedly began dating around this time, and to say Paul was living life in 2023 would be an understatement. I mean, some might say that, quote, Paul Skenes was having one of the greatest white boy summers of all time. He won the national championship, became the first overall pick in the MLB, and officially bagged Livy Dunn. And if Paul wasn't satisfied with Livy, he wouldn't be short on other options either.
Paul Skenes, my mom is single, bro. I need you.
Still riding on a high from the national championship and his new relationship, on July 9th, 2023, Paul officially made his MLB dreams come true when the Pittsburgh Pirates selected him with the first overall pick of the draft.
With the first pick of the 2023 MLB draft, the Pittsburgh Pirates picked Paul Skenes.
The Skenes family, some familiar faces there, right, Jay?
Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't be happier for Paul.
The Pirates were so excited to get Paul that they gave him a $9.2 million signing bonus, which was the highest signing bonus ever given to a drafted player. It looked like there truly was a superstar in the making in Paul Skenes. Paul started in AAA in August of 2023 and found more of the same success. He didn't let up a run until his 5th outing. He struck out over 50% of the batters he faced, and he threw 104 of the 105 fastest minor league pitches made by starters. There was one problem though. The Pirates were so worried their new star would get injured that they would often pull him after only 3 innings. This was super frustrating for Paul, because in college, he would often throw 100, 110, or even 120 pitches if that was what was needed to win the game. And now just a measly 30 to 40 pitches felt, well, lame. Under these circumstances, Paul had to ask himself, how long will it take me to prove myself if I'm almost never on the field? The answer? Only 334 days. Despite being in the minors for less than a year, the Pirates felt that Paul was ready for a promotion, which is why on May 11th, 2024, Paul made his electric MLB debut.
The moment has arrived. One of the most highly anticipated debuts in the history of Pittsburgh sports here today as the Pirates welcomed in Paul Skenes as he arrived in the clubhouse earlier today.
And in his first batter, he wanted to make a statement. Just check out the speed on this first strikeout pitch.
27 innings, walked 8, struck out 45 with AAA Indianapolis.
Although Paul let up 4 runs in his first 5 innings, he still struck out 7 and showed a lot of promise. But Pirates fans were not ready for what Paul was going to do next. On May 17th, Paul struck out the first 7 batters of the game and threw 6 innings without giving up a hit. Then, on May 23rd, he practically did it again by throwing another 6 innings with only 1 earned run allowed. Then on June 11th, he, well, basically did it again, throwing another 6.1 innings with 8 strikeouts and no earned runs allowed. In Paul's first 8 starts, he was sporting a 2.14 ERA and 46.1 innings of work with a crazy 61 strikeouts. When we dig a little deeper though, Paul's rookie dominance is even more incredible. Paul's average fastball was 99.3 miles per hour, and the only 2 pitchers that topped that come out of the bullpen. His first loss did not come until his 12th start, and just look at what he did to Ohtani in their first meeting.
How do you like this show?
What Paul does so well is that he complements his supersonic fastball with a slider thrown at the same arm angle, so as a hitter, it's almost impossible to tell if the pitch will get blown by you or move all the way across the plate to make you look silly. He also, well, how do I put this, invented his own pitch by accident that just happens to be maybe the most dominant pitch since Mariano Rivera's cutter.
Finding that pitch just by playing around and throwing it in catch play one day, and it kind of stuck.
This pitch, called the Splinker, has around 30 inches of drop and goes a stupid 94 miles per hour, which is literally unheard of. Batters are hitting .184 with only 1 home run off the pitch, despite Paul throwing it a whopping 603 times. Check out this quick little compilation of Paul making hitters just look silly with it.
They have to start swinging at it.
Here. Got him. And he comes back.
Because of Paul's amazing performance to start his career, it was no surprise that he made the All-Star game. But the league had an additional surprise for him. That is because on July 16th, 2024, Paul was chosen to start the All-Star game for the National League, an honor that he received after literally missing the first month of the season. It is also worth noting that Rookie of the Year will be announced today, an award that Paul is very likely going to win, or maybe even already has won as you watch this. So you, the viewer, must be like, oh my god, we get it, faceless batter's box man. This guy's pretty good, so where's the catch? Well, in an age of baseball where throwing the hardest means being the best, pitchers have pushed their arms to the brink to achieve success, and Paul is no exception. While he may look and play like an invincible robot during his starts, his elbow will become very susceptible to Tommy John if he continues to throw over 100 miles an hour consistently. The body can only endure so much, and while it's frustrating to see injuries dethrone our favorite superstars, it's a tale the MLB has seen many times over with players like Jacob deGrom, Steven Strasburg, and many others. Will Paul meet this fate? I can't say, but what I can say is that regardless of what the future holds for Paul, his rookie season was truly one of the most electric rookie seasons of all time, and I hope his mustache wearing, Top Gun pilot flying, likable guy energy is around the league for many years to come. Come to think about it though, I think the only rookie season of recent memory that might compete with Paul's is that of Aaron Judge. Stick with Batter's Box and watch our video on Aaron Judge to see how a player nobody wanted absolutely took over the MLB in his rookie season.